Hey, what's happening? It's your guy, Knock Rio. We got a good one for you today. As you know, I've been developing my BeatFi.io in Bolt, and I've run into some issues. I ran into one that's been, just racking my brain, just beating me up for the last 3 weeks. And so I figured I would share this with the community because I think there are other developers out there that are kind of like me who don't have a huge amount of coding experience. I've got some, but not a huge amount. So I can work my way around a little bit, but you might have run into this issue. And if you did, I'm sure you're frustrated. So we're going to jump right into that first. We're going to go through the site a little bit, see the new changes and all that stuff. But I figured I would start with this because there's so many people that are out here participating in the no code environment, and this might be one of the solutions that you run into. So let's explain it a little bit. Let's go in here and take a look. As you can see, I'm in Bolt here. I've got no more credits left. I started with 1.2 million today. I opened up Bolt. It dropped it down to about 800,000 or so. I worked around. I tried to fix one thing in there. That dropped it down a little bit to about 522,000 credits. At that point in time, I realized, okay, I'm going to run out of credits here. I don't know if I want to spend the money to buy more today. And then I realized, hey, I got to be able to fix what I want to fix here in the next 522,000 credits. So I went digging and looking around, and I found something kind of interesting that might be a solution to those of you who have gotten into a loop. What was happening to me was I'd make changes here in the prompt in Bolt. It would tell me that the changes were made, but then I'd come in here to the preview and there's no changes made there. And it was frustrating me to no end. And so I know you guys have been there. So as you can see, there's a bunch of database changes and things that need to be made, but for whatever reason, I can't deploy it. It won't let me deploy, probably because I don't have any tokens, which means I'm probably gonna have to pay them again to deploy it unless I can find some other way. I tried it through Stackblitz or something, or Netlify or whatever, and just didn't happen. So that brings us to the point where there are other things that we've connected to Bolt, right? We've connected Stackblitz, we've connected maybe GitHub, and then we've got maybe something like Stripe or something like that. So I worked myself around, and for whatever reason, I ended up on this page. Let's see here. Let's skip that. So it's something that said that I crashed the page, but it didn't. I ended up on this page, and what I noticed over here on the far left-hand side, it said 106. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring that image up for you if I can here, just so that you can see what it is that I saw at that time. Let's see if we can pull that image up and see if we can show it to you. Yeah, we're gonna be able to do that. So I had 106 sitting here, and I said, okay, that doesn't look right. And I see this blue commit button at the top. And so I realized that, you know what, my Bolt software is making, or the platform is making the changes. It's sending it out here to Stackblitz, and Stackblitz is doing nothing with it. And so therefore my preview in Bolt is not updating with the changes. So it just seems like Bolt is not working. What I did was I ended up committing these changes. When I hit this commit button, there's something that will show up. There'll be like a little commit message or a message that you need to fill something in. I just put in commit and hit enter. I'm sure if you're more technical, you might put something else in there. But I put in commit and check the little checkbox that appeared over here, and it committed these 106 changes. And when I went back to Bolt, voila, all the changes and all the things I was trying to do were there. So go figure, right? So what you have to realize is that there's other things attached. So maybe check your Stackblitz and see. Don't just open the database. I had the database open, I had GitHub open or whatever, and I was working in those pretty much every day. However, I never really opened this window in just stackblitz.com to see what was going on. And this probably would have helped me because there's been several times that I've gotten into these that I've gotten into these loop situations where I feel like things are not updating and something needs to reboot. And finally, eventually it would kind of work. You know, I'd get out or reset the machine or something, and eventually it would work. And that's kind of, you know, I would just keep going. But now having a little bit of knowledge and having a little bit of ways to research it and understanding the process and what's going on turned out to be important to trying to figure out what's actually occurring. So if you're in that situation, I found some people here on Reddit who are in the same situation. Let's go ahead and take a look at that really quickly. He says his biggest issue with Bolt new. My biggest problem, frustration issue with Bolt is that I waste too many tokens in just fixing the same issue again and again. He's probably experiencing Stackblitz or something not pushing the committed files to GitHub, and that's why he's not seeing the update. Right. So there are people in here who are talking about, oh, well, if you hired a programmer, it would cost you a lot more. But we're spending money. We're spending money for a service, and we're not kind of getting what it is that we were paying for if it's just stuck in this loop. And it makes you feel like Bolt is maybe a bad service, but I don't think that's what it is. I think maybe whatever that connection is with Stackblitz, and then Stackblitz sending your information out to GitHub if you're using that, maybe that's what the problem is. So this person said here, Eliana said, it is totally frustrating. I have days of hours and hundreds of versions now of one plugin. After it fixes one error, it goes back to accepting the last 5. It seems like a trick to get more money out of us for more credits. I may not know how to code this program, but I can tell when I'm being stolen from. So I have been in contact with a guy from Bolt in the last couple of days, and I've been sending him the things that I've been running into. And then this morning I sent him that same screenshot that I just showed you guys and said, hey, listen, this might be the problem. So if someone's calling them and talking to them about what's going on, then maybe they have this as a solution. Hey, check your Stackblitz and make sure that it's committing the changes. That would go a long way to Bolt's reputation as a company, and people won't feel like they're getting ripped off. So I hope people are finding this video. I'm going to put Stackblitz in the title, like fixing issues with Stackblitz or whatever. I'm going to title it more that than, than showing you what I've actually done on the program, just so that people will find this video and it can be helpful to the community. So we're going to get out of this now, and we're going to go ahead into, I'm going to leave that open. We're going to go ahead into Bolt, and we're going to show, my clients and or my potential producers what type of features we've added into the program and how this might be a valuable resource. I'm going to go into the full screen mode here. Okay, so we finally got it to come up here. Looks like we've been having a little bit of technical difficulties here and there. I think my video card is bad or something, man, because it just crashes. It doesn't like OBS, and it just crashes all the time when I use OBS. But hopefully I can upgrade this computer at some point. But let's go through some of the changes and some of the things that we've added to my BeatFi sync website at mybeatfi.io. This is the preview. Haven't been able to push it out yet, but you're going to be able to see what it can do here. So our search is definitely fixed. So if I put in like jazz and hit enter, it didn't return anything just yet. Maybe that's because I changed it. Let's go hip hop. There we go. Yeah, I think I changed the metadata for one of the tracks that used to have jazz, so that didn't work. If we don't have it, it won't come up. So we can pull up the music catalog just by searching from the title. If you click on this button over here, you can select the genre from here, and then you can select even moods or whatever, and then you can select by BPM, and then you apply the filter, and it'll come up and it'll show you what it is we have available to be licensed. You'll have now the ability to click on the link here on the picture, and it will play the file. So maybe you guys are getting a little bit of that there. I don't know how loud it is because I can't hear it out here. I've got my volume turned down. We've got the ability to click on the actual producer, and it'll bring up a producer profile. You'll notice the producer's ID is there. Every producer will have a unique ID. It'll tell you how many tracks you got out there, how much money in sales you've done, give you kind of a rating thing. I don't really remember programming a rating, but we'll figure out how that works, I guess. I don't know why it's 4.8. Hopefully that's out of 5. We'll see. You've got a logo that you can upload as well. So you should be able to upload your logo and change that as you wish in your profile. We also have the license track button here. So any of these tracks that are in the normal library that can just be licensed based on the membership program that they have, you're just going to click that license button here. It's going to now take you to a track page. It was going directly to the dialogue, but for some other reason, we had to create a track page. So I created a track page here. It's got a lot more information about the track itself. It's got the moods down here. It's got the genres, BPM, all of that stuff here. I don't know about these little brackets here or whatever, but gets the job done, right? If it tells you the available format. So this one is MP3 only, but if I had the track outs and the stems, it's going to show out down here too that it has track outs and stems available, which all of mine will when I start to upload them, because I want my client to have the ability to have stems, and maybe they just want drums, or maybe they just want melody, or maybe maybe they only want certain parts. So I want them to have that ability to make their decision on what parts they're going to use, but they have a license to be able to do that. If I click purchase license, this should go into a licensing process. We did implement Stripe. So Stripe is in a test environment right now, so we can actually purchase them. So let's select $9.99, which is the current price for a single track license. I'm going to put in the dummy information. It's just 4242, 4242s. You can put anything here for the month and the day. So we're going to go January 2027. You can put anything for a 3-digit code. I'm going to select a name here. I'll select John Carter. We're going to select the United States, because most of the time our zip codes and things are going to be United States. So I'll pick a zip code here and I'm going to hit pay. It's in the test environment, so I don't have to worry about charging an actual card. This is just for testing. So once this is done, we should get a message saying that it was completed. So payment completed. And let's see what happens here. May not do exactly what it's supposed. I don't think it's going to do what it's supposed to do here, but it will come up with a message saying that the purchase was complete, and then it'll allow you to go back to the dashboard, and you're going to be able to see your purchase on the dashboard. I can't push those changes out yet to the database or whatever, so that's our problem right now, since I ran out of tokens to actually push it. So that's just showing you that this part of that works. Now, if we go to the full tracks with vocals, this particular track, this test track here, it's kind of the same thing, only it's sync only. So the producer put it in as sync only, and they want you to submit a proposal to them before you actually license it. So if you submit the proposal, you can add your information like the client name, the description of your project, how long you want to use it, if you want exclusive rights or not, the sync fee offer. This is supposed to be changed too. I changed this background, so that may be something that changes too, so that it's a little more solid. That won't be transparent that way. That was a change that was made too, that just right now it's not there yet. You'll be able to put in when they're going to pay, when the client's going to pay you, what's the expected time, immediately, or net 90, net 60, net 30. When the proposal will expire, when they want an answer by, and whether or not it's urgent or not, right? They can submit that proposal. I'm not going to do that here. We have some dummy ones that are in there, I do believe. But that's the general function here. So you can license tracks from the library that are just out there to use if you want to use it. It costs you $9.99 to do that. We may offer discounts or coupons and things to incentivize the people to use it, but that's the way that's going to work, right? So we'll be able to open up our sync briefs here. This is a test submission of a sync brief. This film project, short film, needs country music, upbeat, acoustic guitar driven, classical, minimalist, $5,500, due June 28th, right? If we click on it, more detail of that will come up. It'll tell you how to submit. It gives you the reference track to say, hey, we want a song that's kind of like this is what we're looking for. So they're looking for someone to actually create this. So that's a sync brief that will be available to people to see. I'm logged in here under my producer login and my admin login because I'm a producer and admin. So that's why we can see some of the things that we can see. But as a producer, you'll be able to go in and see the sync briefs. Clients won't have access to anyone's briefs except their own. We've got pricing plans here. I updated the pricing plan to $9.99, $34.99, $59.99, and $4.99 for the year because it can't be $600, close to $700 if you pay by month and then be like $249, if you pay by the year. So I was like, okay, let's give them a discount, maybe about 30% or something. And they can pay like $500 for the year and they can kind of use things unlimited. So I'm not going to go through all of this. They can subscribe here. If you hit the subscribe button, that does go through the Stripe program as well, the Stripe setup, so that they can pay for their membership and have it hit their account. I'll just show you that really quickly here. So that comes up $34.99 for the gold membership or whatever. Maybe we'll put some more information here. I don't know. All right, so we had a little bit of technical difficulty there. But you could see how when you go to select a membership, it starts the Stripe process so that you can create a new membership or you can upgrade your current membership. Now, there's an upgrade membership button on the client dashboard, so the clients will be able to do that from here as well. I don't think the button's working right now per se, because we still got to push those updates to it, but that will be working this week as well. It's already was working. I don't know why it's not working now. But you can see on the client dashboard here, you have your sync requests. So these are requests that I would have put in as a client, and I'm looking for producers to kind of work on my project, right? And submit me some music for sync. So this is a custom request. So it's a radio commercial. We need radio commercial music for a new restaurant, rock music with big guitars, instrumental only, paying $5,100. Rock is the genre, when it's due, and whether it's still open or not. They can come in here. They'll be able to edit the request. I think we're going to add a couple more things here that they'll be able to change. And when it's complete, they'll be able to click this button and mark it as completed, or they can actually delete it. So there'll be some fixes for that. We don't want them changing, say like you get into the negotiations or whatever, you're negotiating with them and then maybe they change the information. We want it to kind of stay consistent because we don't want you thinking it's 5,100 and then you get in there and it's 3,000 or something. It just appears to be 3,000 and you didn't see it. They've got to be able to negotiate that. So that might be something that we don't allow them to change. Maybe that's something that can only be changed through negotiation. So I'll figure that out, make sure that we don't have an issue with that. But you can see where the client's licensed tracks will show up on their list here. For whatever reason, I put this in and it appeared twice. I think I've got a fix for that already, but we'll make sure that it only appears once. But when they do a license, it'll show up here. It'll show you the date that they licensed it. It'll show you the expiration date. This is a single track license, just like it says up here. So it's 1 year's time, and it expires in 1 year. So you can see that it will expire on the same day the next year. Tell you like BPM, other information there. They can delete it. What happens when they delete it? It says, are you sure you want to delete your license for this particular song or this particular music? This license will stay valid until the 2026 year. So it'll stay until it actually expires. They licensed it for a year. It's going to stay active for a year. After that point, it will fall off, right? They won't have a license to it anymore. So it doesn't mean like, oh, I can cancel today and I'm going to get part of my money back for like half the year or something. No, you're still going to have a license for that time. So let's cancel out of that. Here they've got their favorite tracks. So this was something that may not have been working. I don't know if it was working in the last upgrade, but they can actually click on it here. They can actually favorite it or not favorite it here. And that will appear in this list here. They can cancel that if they like. They can just close it out if they don't want it on their list anymore. Sometimes a client will say, oh, I like these 10 tracks and I need to pick one. And so they'll be able to actually save them as favorites and then go back and say, okay, which one do I really want? Which one has everything that I need? Maybe stems or whatever. And let's pick one that we're going to use. They can play the track from here, and they can also license the track from here too. This will send them over. Now it will send them to the track page, but before it was going right to the license summary terms or license term summary. But it won't go directly here now. It'll go over to that track page, which is this, and then they're gonna license it from here. That's just a small adjustment that I made, just so that they have another look at all the information again, just to make sure it's what they're getting, what they wanted, and before they actually submit it, right? Because we want to reduce the amount of refunding or the amount of, hey, I didn't mean to do that. You know, we want to give them an out. So we've got the new releases here. So there'll be a certain amount of new releases that they'll be able to see as tracks are coming in and they get pushed. Then the client will be able to look here and say, oh, what's new? Oh, I see something new here. I was looking for something in hip hop. I was looking for something in jazz music or country music or something, right? So this is pretty much the client dashboard. It's not a whole lot there. They don't need a whole lot. We'll figure out, you know, if they start asking for stuff, then we'll figure that out and give them what they're looking for. So we've got a few more things here. We covered all of that, the pricing plans. We got the About Us page now, which got my lovely picture on there, just talking about my BeatFi sync. We've got the Contact Us page now, where you can send a contact to us. We've got the announcements now where you can see, oh, what's the new developments with my BeatFi. This is general for the public and for the company itself as well. You can put links in here, like I have a link to a YouTube video here, the last video that we did. So maybe we'll update the announcements with another one here pretty soon. But yeah, that's how you're going to find out things about my BeatFi. And then of course, back to the main dashboard. But let's go ahead and sign out of here. And I'm going to sign in as a producer under my producer sign in here, which is going to be this one. And it's a little more comprehensive. So now for our producers coming in, you're going to see a lot more. You've got your producer ID here, your name, ability to change your profile picture. If you want to update your profile, you can click edit profile here. We'll click on that. It's going to give you the ability. You can't change your producer number, but you're going to be able to change, or your email, but you'll be able to change like the name, the company name, phone numbers, all of that stuff. I can see like there's a bunch of stuff here that we did fix that's just not fixed, you know, in this version of it, but you can at least see what's going on. It's all going to look nice. We've got upload new track where you can send a new track in, pick your BPMs, pick the track image, the key, and all of that is here. The MP3 only link, the full track out download link, all of these features here, full track with vocals, one-stop production. You're going to be able to select all of that stuff here, right? You're also going to be able to select whether or not it's a sync only track. It's going to ask you that too. I think it's here somewhere. We'll have to look at it, or maybe this full track with vocals or whatever. We'll figure it out. I think it's here somewhere. I just forget exactly if it's in the next screen or if it's in this screen, but you'll be able to submit new tracks. I've kind of showed you that before, and we'll make sure all of that's working. Now you've got some analytics here. How many tracks I got out there? 3. 36 total sales. This is the total revenue that's generated. And also I have 5 pending proposals as well. So the pending proposals are listed on this side. So the test 3 proposal here, if I click on that, it should bring up the window for the proposal itself. Right now it does not, but it will. If I want to negotiate something about this proposal, I'll hit negotiate. It's going to come up with a window. I can put in a message, maybe give a counter offer as far as money, select what I want, or add in here like, oh, I know you said net 60 or whatever, but I need to get paid net 30. Is it possible? So I'm going to put that in there as, some other term or whatever that I want to change. If I need to attach a file or something, I can attach it, and I can send a response in, and then that's going to populate a history. So there's going to be a history of the changes that have been made so that yourself and the client can see where you are in the process, and you have a record of what was said and what was done, so they can't come back and say, oh no, you agreed to $2,000 when they actually agreed to $6,000. You've got a record of that. Then you can accept it, and you can accept the proposal once you've hashed out all the details with the client, or you can actually decline the proposal and you're not going to participate anymore. So you've got that, all of those will be here, your pending proposals, right? You've got your recent sales, and it's going to tell you what people have been licensing, right? So if they're licensing, tracks or whatever as a single track license, you're going to get a percentage of that. It's $9.99. We're going to give you a percentage of that, that license, right? You're going to get a good size percentage of that. I'm going to look on the back end. I think that it's 75%. It's like 75% to you guys, 25% to the company or whatever, on this, that you're going to get. So out of $10, you're probably going to get like $7.50, and the company will get like $2.50 or something like that. And then, so we've got the ability to view earnings now. So you're going to be able to go here as a producer and look and say, okay, what's my available balance to withdraw? What's my pending balance? So as the month progresses, you're going to start to see your number grow, like, okay, this is what I've got so far for the month. That should be coming to me. And you can see down here in the transaction history, this is a sale of winning, the license for winning for somebody. They paid $9.99. You got basically almost $7.50, right? For that one. At one point we're at like $7.99 or something. I don't know why this one. Oh, this one's $6.75 because I think in the database it says $9. I entered it by hand, and I think I put in $9 instead of $9.99. So that's why this one's a little bit different in this one too. But yeah, you're going to be able to look and say, okay, what happened in the last 30 days, 90 days, all time. You're going to be able to see that. And then you're going to be able to see by sales, your withdrawals, or whatever adjustments are made. Because if somebody claims a refund or something, we're going to have to adjust the account. Hold on 1 minute. I think that's my lunch. Just 1 second. All right, thanks for bearing with me there. Got my lunch, handy dandy lunch here. Set that down here for right now, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, so you're going to be able to see what you're earning, and that's our effort to be transparent with you, so you can kind of be incentivized. Like, hey, I want to put more beats up, or hey, this is actually working for me, so maybe I should put my beats out here. Maybe I can make some money from them, right? This is just from the sales of single tracks, right? But your pending balance is going to include other things. So as the customers are leasing tracks, maybe they're going to be in the gold access, maybe they'll be in platinum or ultimate access. They're paying by the year, they're paying by the month, and they can access everything in the catalog. They're still going to be licensing tracks, but however many of your tracks they license are going to be factored into how much money is going to go into your pending balance. So the way that it's going to kind of work is like, there's going to be I think it's a 50-50 bucket, right? So of all the money that we collect as revenue from those other programs that are not single track purchases, they're just getting, a monthly rate for bulk access. We're going to split that 50-50 with the producers. So that 50% bucket is going to be the bucket that the producers get paid out of. Everybody's just putting things into the library, and customers are leasing as much as they want depending on the program that they're on. I think Gold Access allows them 10 per month. So they can do like 120 leases per year under their program. So that way your music can just kind of sit in there or whatever, and they can choose it. But the more music of yours that they choose, the more percentage of that bucket, that 50% bucket, you're going to receive. So it's going to divvy that up amongst the producers. And I don't think we're going to have a lot of producers in here in the program, just because it's sync and it's kind of specialized. We want people that kind of know what's going on, who are going to follow the rules and do it the right way, right? So that is going to eliminate a lot of people right off the bat. That's why we're doing it by invitation. But this is going to calculate that for you dynamically. So as this is occurring, you're going to start to see your pending balance grow. You're going to be able to add a payout method as well, how you want to get paid out. Now, I don't think we're ready for crypto yet. I haven't figured out how to implement that into the system yet. But if it's money, they're paying in credit cards or whatever like that at first, then yeah, it's going to be bank payouts or whatever. We'll figure out how to implement the crypto or whatever, maybe a little bit later. I don't have PayPal. I don't use PayPal. We're going to pay out normally through Stripe. So we'll probably eliminate this PayPal button here unless we can figure out a way to pay you guys. I don't like PayPal. I don't use PayPal. I don't like the way they hold on to your money or whatever. I'd rather work with Stripe. But you'll be able to put in your bank name or whatever, maybe do an ACH through Stripe or something like that, right? So that's how you're going to get paid out, and you're going to be able to request your money for withdrawal. I figure we're going to need some time at the end of the month. Once the month is finished, and then we're going to say, okay, the books are closed on the 30th or 31st, then give us another 10 days before we can make it available for you to actually withdraw it or whatever. Because we got to wait for refunds or transaction that didn't actually go through or whatever, or the client's having a problem or whatever. We got to make sure that we actually received the money, because it doesn't just automatically go into the account as soon as they swipe or as soon as they type in their information. It takes a little time to get in. So we've got to do that, review it, and then, maybe 10 days out, we'll be okay, by the 10th of the month or something, we should be issuing checks, or maybe by mid-month, we should be issuing checks. I don't know exactly yet. But you're going to have access to that information here. So that's something that's new here. Kind of happy about that. So you're going to be able to click this total revenue area here. You'll be able to click that and get a report is going to pop up. That's something that exists, but I can't show you here until we push those other changes, right? So you're going to be able to push this here and get a report that you can actually download. So it'll download as a PDF. So that actually works too. We've got it. So so you're going to be able to have a lot of access here. Now let me go in. I'll show you kind of, what else we've done here. We did do the internal chat. So this is not for clients. This is only going to be for producers, and maybe the admins have their own group. And then we have a group where everybody, admins and producers, can be in there. So I think I showed you this before, but it wasn't exactly working. It was working. Once you put the message in, you hit enter, you wouldn't see it on the screen. And it would just kind of wait until you click somewhere else and then come back to it, and then the message would be there. I fixed that. So here we're going to put, I like this. Hit enter, and it shows up right there. I like this, right? So we're going to have a chat that we can talk to each other, right? If we're finding success with something, if we're surprised about something, if we're happy about something, we can put this in the chat. Hopefully not too many things that we don't like. Admins will have the ability to delete chat rooms. You guys will have abilities to create them, but we're not going to allow just everybody the ability to delete them. So if we need to delete one, admins will need to be notified of that, and then we'll delete the room, right? But you'll be able to create a new room here. Everybody will be able to do that. Let's go back here. What else did we miss here? We have the invite producer. It now gives us the next number that's available, the next producer number that's available to ID the producer. That's all there. That's a wonderful thing. That's working well. Let's see what else we have here. got producer payments. So we'll be able to see the withdrawal request. So when you put your request in for withdrawal, we're going to see that here, and we'll be able to effectuate that withdrawal for you. That's something that we have here on the back end. So I'm just kind of showing you so that you can see that it is comprehensive and what we're working with. Our dashboard will have more information, like it'll tell us how many clients we have, how many producers we have, how many sales we've got. And this, I believe, will be by the month. We'll probably put some buttons here so we can see, okay, what's it been for the year? What's it been in the last 6 months? We'll probably put some more buttons here, but we'll have to see when we push the updates what's there. Our total revenue, this is for like the last 30 days or whatever. This is the total revenue. We have analytics here for the sync proposals. That's the ones where it's like, hey, I noticed you made this sync only. I want to use it, and this is how I want to use it. They're going to tell you that. I also have analytics for custom sync analytics, where it's a custom job. Like, hey, I need you to create music that's not already created, and this is what I'm willing to pay you to do that. So we're going to have access to see what the trends are, so we can talk to you and say, hey, if you guys are creating this type of music, this might be a good time for you to get those tracks finished and uploaded so that people have access to them because they're looking for this. We have the producers here. I can see the producers. I can see that something's going on with the database here that'll probably get fixed when I push everything out. We have managed payments, all that kind of stuff. I can manage payments from here to pay people out. The client list will be here as well. We'll see what membership plan they're on. I'll be able to change their membership plan. If I have to do it by hand or something, I'll be able to change it. We've got the announcements here where we can create new announcements. And then we've got the compensation page. I had all of this fixed where you could actually see it. But yeah, for a standard license, it's 75%. So 75% is going to go out to the producers. 25% will stay with the company because obviously we're eventually going to have to pay people, maybe more developers, more customer service. We may have to pay people. So we've got to have some money, right? And then I got to make some money too, right? Then we have the exclusive license rate. So if there's like an exclusive thing, like a custom syncs or whatever like that, the rate's going to be like 80%. Or not custom, but exclusive license. If they did something exclusively with you, it'll be 80% to the producer, 20% to us. For custom syncs, it's 90% to the producer, 10% to us. So if it's a $5,000 deal, you're going to get 4,500, we'll get 500 on the deal, right? 90-10 is a good thing because most of the money goes to you, right? It's not like 15% or something. We want to make it fair, but we want the company to be able to survive so that you can keep making this money, right? And then we have the membership plan revenue. There's going to be something I think that a lot of places don't give. We're going to have new producers that come on board that may not actually have a sale just yet, right? Maybe they're just getting their stuff into the system. Every day they're kind of uploading or whatever. It might take a little while for that to happen. So we set aside a 2% no sales bucket. It's not a lot of money, but it's something that the producer can say, oh, this community cares about me. This company cares about me. Even though I don't have any sales, I made some money off of what's the revenue that's being generated. So technically, almost everybody should generate some money, right? Even if you don't have sales. Now, if it goes, you're up and fully running in 6 months, 8 months, you've never had a sale, then we've got to look at that, right? But in my mind, I feel like I've got to incentivize people to be able to have the opportunity to make some money, even if maybe the music's not producing it, because everybody's not going to select your music right off. It's going to take a little while before you find that client, or that client just kind of comes across your music and goes, hey, I want that. But hopefully in that new releases in their dashboard, they'll be able to see when you're putting new music out, right? So it's going to kind of be important to put new music out and put quality music out because they're going to have the first listen right there in their dashboard. So we've got the payment settings. The hold period right now is 30 days. The minimum withdrawal amount, we haven't set a minimum withdrawal yet. We probably will. I don't know. I think it says $50 back there. I can't see behind the icon. It's like $50 or whatever. It might be less than that. We'll figure it out. I got to figure that out with Stripe just to see, because I don't know if there's some kind of processing fee or whatever like that they give. It says 2% here. Whatever it is with Stripe is what we'll pull out, just because, if we got to pay them, we got to pay them to pay you, right? But yeah, so this is not something everybody will have access to. This is only admin based because we don't want people being able to change, the compensation package, right? We definitely don't want that. So, yeah, so I can notice there's some things here that have definitely changed that will be updated and all that stuff for us. But that's where we're going with this. That's where this project is going. I think I'm really close. So I'm going to wait a few days, like they said, until I get my tokens. I'll push all the updates out to the database, and then we're going to start testing vigorously to make sure that things work and that everything is as good as we want it to be and presentable to you guys as producers and the ones that come on board with us, and also presentable to the client so that the client has a seamless experience, and then we can kind of experiment with other things, right? We can create something new. We can create something different, some different features and things that, that are being asked for or suggested. We'll work on that stuff. Maybe we'll have to get somebody who can help us develop that. I don't know that I'll do it in Bolt, but we'll see if we can get someone to develop it. Part of my dream here in Rio, or living in Brazil, was to actually create a company where we bring people into as like interns. We let them intern, teach them for like 6 months. I always thought it'd be like a technology company or something, but they get to work on a real project that generates money and revenue that people are actually using. That was always my dream. So this is one of those projects where I feel like, maybe if it's generating regular revenue, I can have somebody come in for an intern for like 6 months. And if, it works out between them and between us, maybe we hire them on. If we get it to a point where, it's generating enough money to pay like a part-time or full-time income, then maybe we'll offer that to them. If it looks like, hey, this is going to work for us, then we'll bring them on. That way I am able to give them experience to begin with. They're getting experience through the internship. And then I know what they know. I know where they came from. I know what knowledge they have. I know that they understand how the system works, and they can explain it to a customer, or they can handle emails, or they can handle, different disputes and things like that. They can start to handle that stuff because they've worked in it as an intern. That's kind of like my idea, because I'm living in Brazil and there's the need for employment, right? So anything that we can provide is good. I had an employee here who was working on my English teaching YouTube with me, creating videos, and we did probably 70 some odd videos together, just creating those on a daily basis or whatever. She was here full time. Now she's in college. She was one of my students for like 3 or 4 years prior. And so now I got to kind of pay it forward and pay it back to her. All the money I collected, I probably paid her more working for me. Over the last 3 years, I probably paid her that. And now she's in college. So, and her English is great. So, but she's got a percentage in the YouTube channel, right? So it's not generating money. It's not monetized yet, but it's a project that I've done. We can get it out there, get it monetized. When it makes money, she's going to receive like a 10% of that. So we're going to try to bring people in, people like her, especially, who speak English too. That's a big thing too. We're going to try to give opportunity to people maybe where there was no opportunity. And that's why this kind of project is very important for me, because I think I can build like a small media company and employ people and give them the opportunity to actually work on something for real. So I need to eat my lunch. Yesterday was my birthday, so wish me happy birthday in the comments. And we are going to give you some more updates in the future here. But I hope that you enjoyed what you saw today. Sorry for the technical glitches and the hangups with the computer and it crashing on me. I had to do this like 4 or 5 different times. different pieces. So we're going to try to put it together and put it out there for you today. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you're interested in participating as a sync producer, let me know. Let's start to have some discussion about it. And if you're working in Bolt and Stackblitz or whatever, hopefully the information we gave you at the beginning is going to be helpful to you. So once again, it's your boy Knock Real. I am signing out. I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Peace.
In the summertime like ballparks, raw spit like Tony Stark, heresy defy divine order, I'm the joint of art, lyrical to miracle, you wake up and prepare for war. I was on the low all night, creeping at your door, revolutionary, had your 304 missionary. We was cooking plan B at the apothecary, off-white, the chromosome spit, I'm like Adidas. You can send your whole clique with the blick, they trying to beat us. My superpower controlling the jam, they can't defeat us. When we coming out to tweet us, frequently from two-seaters. I'm a certified hitter. Don't make me have to crack you with this 1-2 quitter.